There is a saying in the southwestern part of Norway that the further north and west you go, the better the spearfishing. So a working trip to Gulen, a couple of hours north from where I spend the rest of the summer, with the Atlantic Ocean straight in, sounds absolutely perfect. We left work early on the Wednesday to sneak in a few dives in the afternoon. The first stop was this bridge called Mjømnesundbrua, and it occasionally holds very nice pollocks. Jan was dropped off at one pillar and me at the next. My instructions were to dive down along the structure to avoid being seen, and then slowly peeking around the corner to hopefully catch a pollock by surprise. There wasn't any pollock around that corner, so while continuing to dive down the same spot, I slowly expanded the area of search. After a few dives, I was sure there wasn't any fish in that direction, so I turned around the pillar. And fish.
All the fish are basically straight on the other side of this pillar, or at least all the small ones. So I think I'll try to swim up there, then go with the current down and see if I can get closer.
Sadly, except for the smaller pollocks, there were little fish to see, but then this school appeared out of nowhere. By the time I realized that this wasn't pollock but horse mackerel, which I've never shot, it was too late. The very first thing I see on the new spot is a fish that's actually kind of worth shooting. But with that on the surface, I was kind of curious what was beneath. Turned out there was nothing beneath.
No, thank you.
So now it's a new spot. Here we're going to look for skeleton
Jan quickly found himself some scallops, whereas I wasn't quite as lucky. The spot I dropped on had a little bit more kelp than we thought, and no scallops in sight. But that's life when you are scouting new areas. So yesterday we didn't get any fish, which was a bit surprising, but new day, so we're gonna try again. The boat is stacked with spear guns, fins, water. Gonna be good. We started the day with a little warm-up dive, and then we gave the bridge another go. We were hoping for better luck this time, as we were testing a new prototype spear gun. But the fish was a bit too small. So we tried the other side. But then, as I was breathing up, I suddenly see that the horse mackerel is back below me. Unfortunately, I aimed too low and the fish tore off. Time for some new spots.
Ja, er du med? Ut, sjekke, ble hentet av Simen.
After checking out spot after spot with no fish whatsoever, Jan wasn't too keen, but luckily he joined. Already on the very first dive I saw this pollock and I was quite keen to shoot it, but then something caught my attention. As you'll probably hear in a second, this is the first time I've ever found a John Dory in Norway, and I was quite happy. The quality of the meat is supposed to be fantastic, so I quickly killed and bled the fish before I continued my hunt for pollocks. I found myself a nice spot along the edge, and then it was time to play the waiting game. Fast forward a minute and you can see some shadows off in the distance. That's some nice fish. I changed my position slightly and could see that this time they came around from the left. Once again I ran out of breath and slowly swam to the surface to avoid spooking them. Then I went down around the corner to see if that helped. When I saw where the pollock was headed, I was very tempted to slowly swim forward and see if I could surprise him on the other side. But not with the jellyfish in the way. I waited until the jellyfish had passed, and then I swam down a bit deeper than the last dive. The plan was to wait there for a little bit and see if any fish turned up. And if nothing showed, I was going to swim over the edge and see if it was waiting there. Of course my camera decided to die right before I did so, but luckily Steven had one in backup. The fish were waiting just where I wanted it to be, and luckily I nailed the shot. Very fun. Finally find one of these. Been looking for ages. That was great. And after a lot of waiting, finally a pollock worth shooting.
Det var ganske heftig for å være det lille drit her inne da.
The last place we wanted to check out before calling it a day was this small current. And yes, that was all. We didn't really expect much, but we quickly figured out we had found a gold mine. I mean, just look at the pollock that John barely missed. It's huge! I tried to swim after it, but it didn't take long before I got distracted. Once I realize that the fish is quite tangled, I make sure to kill it so it won't swim further away. Then it's safe to swim to the surface before heading back down and untangle the line. It wasn't more than 5 meters at the deepest, but a strong current combined with kelp and caves to hide in meant that there was no shortage of fish. And while breathing up, I suddenly see some movement down below. I would never have guessed that after 2 days of hard diving, my personal best pollock at 6 kilo would be shot in a place like this. And this really proves the point that in Norway you can dive as deep as long as you want, but once you find those proper spots, you're good. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribe, it helps a lot. Thank you so much to Jan and Simon for great company, and to Freelandsliv for all the support.